Hello, you're watching News Mongolian MNB World. I'm your host, Ulaanbaatar. Our top stories. Mongolian consulate in Chicago officially opens. 151 liver transplantation operations were conducted in Mongolia. No progress in talks between Ukraine and Russia. For other news, stay tuned. Childhood bacterial meningitis cases were recorded in Ulaanbaatar. Meningitis is a viral infection of the fluid that surrounds the brain and spinal cord. We have talked to epidemiologists to get some clarification.
Usually, children aged between 0 to 5 years old are prone to meningitis infection. Viral meningitis in infants may cause decreased appetite, irritability, sleepiness, lethargy, fever, and a skin rash. The incubation period might vary from just a few hours to 20 days, and on average, it can continue for 5 to 6 days. In severe cases, child might get skin rash in 4 to 6 hours. If there is a minor with a fever, parents are advised to see pediatricians and seek help. In case of an infection, children must be hospitalized. The parents and close contacts of infected children should get disinfection treatment or be vaccinated at the NCCD. Doctors advise parents to be careful and seek medical help if their children have a fever or some suspicious skin rash symptoms. Doctors say practicing good personal hygiene may also help prevent meningitis. Some type of meningitis are spread through close contact with an infected person's body fluid, such as saliva and nasal secretions. Therefore, children should avoid sharing drinks, utensils, and personal items that may carry saliva or other body fluids. Taking these steps will prevent children and adults of getting meningitis.
And now let's look at Mongolia's current affairs.
A Mongolian consulate in Chicago, U.S. has begun its services from March 9th. There are more than 30,000 Mongolian expats in the United States, of whom over 10,000 reside in Chicago area. With aims to provide Mongolians with prompt and efficient public services, last July the Parliament of Mongolia passed a resolution to open a Mongolian consulate in Chicago. On January 6, the Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ulaanbaatar, presented a consular patent to Mongolia's consul in Chicago, Batstek. The consular district of the new Mongolian consulate covers the following states: North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Louisiana. According to the National Statistics Office, air freight amount in January reached 1.1 thousand tons, an increase of 890 tons compared to the same period of last year. In January, 0.7 tons of domestic cargo was transported by air, which is 2.6 times more compared to the same period of the previous year. And international cargo transported was 1,000 tons, an increase of 890 tons compared to the same period of the previous year. The number of air passengers reached 41.8 thousand, an increase of 33.8 thousand compared to the same period of the previous year. The number of air passengers increased by 6.4 thousand or 18% compared to the same month of previous year. According to the National Statistics Office, this was due to an increase in passenger traffic to Phuket and Istanbul. In January, the number of domestic passengers increased 3.8-fold and reached 21.8 thousand compared to the same period of the previous year. People were mostly traveling to Hovd, Ulgi, and Ofs provinces. An increase of passengers on international flights was observed in Seoul, Istanbul, and Phuket directions. Revenues of national air carriers reached 45 billion Mongolian tugrix in January 2022, an increase by 37.1 billion compared to the same period of the previous year, and an increase of 33.7% compared to December 2021. The Minister of Culture Nemen held a meeting with the head of the Swiss cooperation in Mongolia, Stephanie Bury, on February to discuss participation of Mongolian artists in the major film festivals of Europe, such as the Venice Biennale and the Cannes Film Festival. This week, the Minister of Culture and the head of the Swiss cooperation signed a cooperation agreement of participation of Mongolian artists in the 59th Venice Biennale. Under the agreement, the Swiss Cooperation Office in Mongolia will provide all-round support for the Mongolian artists to participate in the Biennale exhibition and cooperate with the Ministry of Culture in globally promoting Mongolian fine arts pieces, improving the artists' competitiveness, developing creative and cultural industries, and bringing economic benefits.
Mongolian medical and healthcare sector is improving day by day. Medical professionals are treating more and more patients who prefer undergoing complicated serious operations domestically rather than going abroad. As of now, 151 liver transplantations were conducted in Mongolia.
Undrich Murung had a liver transplantation 2 weeks ago. He was diagnosed with hepatitis type B and D. His condition has deteriorated in 2020 when he was infected with COVID-19 and it required a liver transplantation operation.
It's been 14 days since my liver transplantation. Even though it didn't take long, the overall health has noticeably improved. The color of the sclera or the white of the eyes was yellowish due to the disease, but now it's becoming much brighter. I feel healthier and the body feels light and less weak.
Currently, there are 40 patients waiting in line for their liver transplantation operations. For the last 2 years, surgeons from the Central Clinic Hospital No. 1 have successfully conducted liver transplantation operations on some 100 patients. But doctors say that lately, due to some circumstances, the hospital is running out of some crucial necessary tools and materials. Due to the latest issues like logistics, transportation issues, some scheduled operations might have to be delayed, and it's very serious when we are talking about patients for whom each hour and each day is important. The patient's overall condition might get worse. Another serious issue is tender bidding for medical equipment, tools, substances, and so on. There are some bureaucracy issues that take a lot of time and might cost someone's life. The hospital is running out of infusion pumps. Currently, there is only one pump left, which is reserved for this Friday's scheduled operation. Aside from 40 scheduled liver transplantations every week, 1 to 5 patients are diagnosed with severe liver failures and are advised to undergo a liver transplantation. However, there are only 3 liver transplantation operation tables at the hospital, and therefore doctors can conduct only a couple operations per week. The organ transplantation center has only 3 beds for liver transplantation. Patients who have undergone surgery are not able to vacate those beds immediately. So the main reason why so few operations are being conducted per week is the lack of necessary equipment and tools. A liver transplantation operation in Mongolia costs 113 million Mongolian tugriks, or around $40,000. In USA, the same operation can cost around $350,000. The patient pays 28 million Mongolian tugriks for the liver transplantation in Mongolia, as the health insurance in Mongolia covers the rest. But if the patient is a retired citizen or a person with disability, the insurance will cover the full cost of the operation.
Now let's check the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. And here's the weather forecast for major cities around the world. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for staying with us on News Mongolia. See you next time with more stories and updates. Goodbye.